And to make statements for the invocation by Deacon Pete Shoemaker of Our Lady of Hope. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May we continue to stand for God's blessing on this conclave. Bow your heads, please. God Almighty, be in this place, we pray, where excellence will be rewarded this evening for people that didn't want to be average but wanted to be above average. Lord, you expect us to do our best in our homes, in our communities, in our service to you, Lord. We ask your continued blessing on this township, Father, for all the people who work, all the men and women who work and serve in this township, Lord. We ask special blessings on our mayor. Keep him safe. Give him a clear head and a clear heart. The same blessing on our council, Lord. Allow them to be of one mind, that what they do will give you glory. These things we ask in the precious name of your Son and for his sake. And we say, amen.
This regular meeting of the Township Council is being held in accordance with the schedule of meetings of the Township Council established and adopted by the Township Council, which scheduled designated the time, date, and place of this meeting. Adequate public notice of this meeting has been provided pursuant to the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act. We are using an electronic amplifying and recording device in order to obtain an audible and clear record. We request that all those wishing to speak be recognized and state your name and address directly into the microphone. The recording device is to be solely utilized by the Township Clerk's Office and shall be the official record of the Township Council meetings. Roll call, Clerk.
Mr. Hutchison? Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Seiler?
Present.
Mrs. Gintek? Here. Mrs. Strado? Here. Mr. Mercado?
Present.
Mr. Bianchini?
Mr. Bianchini, Mr. Hutchison, everybody will be.
Mayor?
Here.
Mr. Malfa? Mr. Lechner?
Here.
Chief Earl?
Here.
Mr. Carlemere? Mr. Cardis?
Here. We have presentations for some of our outstanding high school students from Highland Indoor Percussion, Triton Marching Band, and the Triton Percussion Ensemble. Mayor, if you can join me at the microphone.
Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and good evening. As Council Vice President Mercado mentioned, we are here to acknowledge your efforts this evening. And I wanted to say personally, congratulations on what you have achieved. I know firsthand what it takes to do what you do, whether you're in the percussion units or the marching band, as I was in the marching band and was a percussionist. So I know that all the work that you all put into to what you do and the victories and the championships that you accomplished this year is certainly noteworthy, and we're here to acknowledge all of your hard work. So on behalf of the Mayor's Office as well as the Council, we want to say thank you for representing our community in the manner in which you do. You put us on the map. You really make Gloucester Township a great community to live, and we wanted to say thank you for doing that and congratulations for your efforts. So with that, Council Vice President Mercado will start the process.
Good evening. We will start with the Triton Regional High School Marching Band. I'll read the proclamation and then ask the director. The director can come up and join me. Whereas Mayor David R. Mayor and Council of the Township of Gloucester are pleased to grant recognition to the Triton Regional High School Marching Band for their outstanding achievements. And whereas the Triton Regional High School Marching Band won the South Jersey Championship for the 7th time, and they have won the Group 1A Atlantic Coast Championships, where they received distinction as Best Music and Best Visual Awards. And whereas the members of the 2011 Triton Regional High School Marching Band are, and we list them all, now therefore I, David Mayer, and Council of the Township of Gloucester do hereby commend the Triton Regional High School Marching Band and directors and staff for their exceptional efforts and competitive spirit as evidenced by their accomplishments. In testimony whereof I have hereto set my hand and caused to be affixed the Great Seal of the Township of Gloucester this 13th day of May 2012. David R. Mayer, Mayor of Gloucester Township, and Glenn Bianchini, President of Council. Congratulations. Director, could you come up and join us?
Yes. Thank you, sir. Just very briefly, all of this doesn't happen all by itself, and it's the invocation kind of said some of the same things that I was thinking in my head, but not to diminish that by any means. But it doesn't happen without a very incredibly talented staff, without an eager group of parents, and without a dedicated group of students who are willing to go above and beyond to be the best they can be.
If you can read the names off for us, I appreciate it.
Yes. So here we go, in no particular order. Actually, I think, no, it's no particular order. Here we go. Matthew Gladue. Hey, he's here. Come on up. Yes. I'm sorry, I should have given the direction. Yes, you come up to take their hands, and I apologize. Guess who was at Dorney Park today? Oh, okay. Oh, I get it. I'm sorry. I'm all good. Okay, I should follow directions. Aoife White. Nope. Okay. Saro Mazada. Aaron O'Leary. Lawrence Somain. Krista Arena. Cassie Bailey. Brandon Wood. Jessica Bartleson. Jenna Derrickson. Lots of people have to work because they have to take off for the prom weekend. Megan Gladue. Caitlin Gonzalez. Sarah Hanna. Eric Hunt. Taylor Mullen. Scott Nicholsberg. Richard Schiavone. Sarah White. Amy Evans. Dylan Hayatakis. Corey Jordan. Brenna Lewis. Dorothea Monahan. Kyle Ryan. Matthew Wilhelm. That's me. And that's it. I think that's it for the students, right? That's everybody. Yes. They're, yeah, these are all.
Yeah. Good job, Cassidy. Good job, Cassidy.
Oh, it says my name. What's that?
Our second proclamation is for the high school, Triton Regional High School Percussion Ensemble. Whereas Mayor David R. Mayor and the Council of the Township of Gloucester are pleased to grant recognition to the Triton Regional High School Percussion Ensemble for their outstanding achievements. Whereas the Triton Regional High School Percussion Ensemble won their 7th straight South Jersey Championship and won their 12th overall National Judges Association Tournament Indoor Association Mid-Atlantic title, which holds the record for the most championships by a program in the 40-year history of the competition. Whereas the members of the 2011-2012 Triton Regional High School Percussion Ensemble are, and we'll go through them in a moment. Now therefore, I, David Mayor and Council of Township of Gloucester do hereby commend the Triton Regional High School Percussion Ensemble for their exceptional efforts as evidenced by their accomplishments. Signed, David R. Mayor and Glenn Bianchini, President of Council.
The real driving force behind the percussion ensemble is the advisor, Mr. Gary Loudon, and the musical arranger, Mr. Don Simpson. Neither one could be here this evening, but on behalf of them, they are the grown-ups that make that ensemble tick. You see that the ones with the red shirts, they're going to be the percussionists. And twice. So I'm sorry. Well, you were at Dorney Park, so it's okay. That's why we're not all dressed the same. Krista Arena. Cassie Bailey. Cassidy Burt. Amy Evans. I think I should go in the wholesale frame business. Matt Gladu. Dylan Hayatakis. Eric Hunt. Corey Jordan. Sarah Mazzato. Dorothea Monahan. Scott Nicholsberg. Kyle Ryan. Richard Schiavone. Lauren Somé. Matt Wilhelm. And Brandon Wood is not here. And that's the advisor, yes. I just want to thank the mayor and council for seeing fit to celebrate the student achievement this evening, and it means a lot to all of this. Thank you very much.
I'd like to now bring up the Highland Indoor Percussion Band. Is the director here? Director? A Gloucester Township proclamation. Whereas Mayor David R. Mayor and the Council of the Township of Gloucester are pleased to grant recognition to the Highland Indoor Percussion Band for their outstanding achievements. And whereas the Highland Indoor Percussion Band achieved 5th place in the Atlantic Coast Championship competition. And whereas the members of the 2011-2012 Highland Indoor Percussion Band are, and we'll go over them in a moment. Now therefore, I, David R. Mayor and Council of the Township of Gloucester, do hereby commend the Highland Indoor Percussion Band and the directors and their staff for their exceptional efforts and competitive spirit as evidenced by their accomplishments. In testimony whereof, I have hereto set my hand and cause to be affixed the great seal of the Township of Gloucester this 30th day of May 2012. Signed, David R. Mayor of Gloucester Township, and Glenn Bianchini, President of Council. Director, could you tell us a little bit about the competition that took place, the Atlantic Coast Championship?
Yes. Going into this season, the students were actually promoted to a new class, and we were able to attain a championship. We were able to compete in the championship, and we came out 5th place, which is very good. We had a lot of new students in the group, and the program is, I'm a former student of Highland, and this is the biggest the program has been as far as the indoor percussion. That's how it goes.
That's great. You can just read off the names, and Principal Petit is here. Principal, would you like to join us?
Christian Batista. Alyssa Cruz. Brandon Bergman. Keith Bianchini. April Chess. Aaron Deep. Ryan Dockery. Erica Evans. Joe Fassbinder. Frankie Friel. Adam Glim. Mikkel Harris. Zach Hunt. Mark Put. Ken Kiocha. Sarah Lansall. Maria Lee. Taylor Liddell. Roma Mana. Matthew McEwen. Kajona Mitchell, Skippy. JC McDowell. Matthew Roach. Patrick Silla. And Ray Vasulo.
And if we can give a big hand to the parents, because I know the boosters of our band organizations. There's two more? Come on up. And we'll make sure we get you something. Yes. Your name? Elliot. Elliot. Good job, Elliot.
Stephanie.
Stephanie, we'll make sure you get your certificates. All right, now we give a big hand to our parents, boosters of our organizations, and also to our school board vice president, Kevin Bucciaroni from the Black Horse Heights Regional School District, and also Linda Gilch from the local, who have also supported arts in our schools. So thank you very much and congratulations. We'll take a 5-minute recess.
Oh my gosh, you know what?
I just didn't mention it. I don't even know what it was. Oh, yeah, Ireland is being up in Eli Agnew. Still good. Yeah. Hopefully, no major problems. Thank God. Except getting old. Well, she was sick. Stomach-wise, and then she had an eye problem, and then that's all day. I mean, I've been waiting. I feel like I'm going to trade her in for a new month. Well, this hurts, that hurts, I don't dare go and measure my age because she'll trade me in or send me to the junkyard. But it really, oh yeah, she's okay. Ornery, stop before I get myself in trouble. That's it. I was just asking the chief to be with the article in the paper about this gun club. I just hope that. Oh, am I speaking now? You're good. I don't either. I would be there. So I was just wondering if there was any
Two T's and two L's, right? Listening? W-A-R-D. E-T-H. They might not, I'm sure they were. All right, I will get her that tomorrow.
Thank you very much. If you need anything, please,
She went.
Tracy's out there. Roll call again, please.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Seiler?
Here.
Mrs. Gentek? Here. Mrs. Strato? Here. Mr. Mercado?
Present. We have our first public portion. Public participation should be for agenda items only. Anyone addressing council may speak one at a time. All those wishing to address council who have had their turns, they may address council second time only if it adds to what was said earlier and not repeating earlier statements. and I do hope that you adhere to our 3-minute time limit. Is there any public portion? Mrs. Musser. Good evening.
Good evening. I have a question regarding the proposal that's going to be discussed. Is there going to be a public hearing after that proposal is presented? Or if we have questions, should it be the ESIP proposal?
If you have questions for it, there's not going to be a public hearing on it, but if you have some questions.
There won't be a public hearing on it, so any questions?
Yes.
Will be addressed now. Okay, I'm going to have questions on that, but I also have questions on resolution 12-120 regarding the housing, the senior campus 3.
Turn the mic on.
Is the mic on? That's all. Okay. Regarding Resolution 12-05-120, the Senior Campus 3, I'm assuming that is Lakeland, is that the Lakeland facility?
Yes.
Okay.
Adjacent to the existing property.
Pardon me?
Adjacent to the existing structure there.
Okay, it's adjacent to the existing structure. Now, one of it looks like they're gonna, is that property gonna be condemned because it's vacant ground right now? The ground there is vacant. There's a earlier resolution, let me find that.
It's an ordinance.
Okay, an earlier ordinance saying that it could be taken by condemnation, or is it going to be taken through condemnation, or
It says
is,
negotiations or condemnation.
right, and is it going to be through condemnation or negotiation?
Negotiation.
Okay. How come the township, if it is currently owned by the housing authority and run by the housing authority, why is the township purchasing that property?
Mayor?
The state,
Go ahead, Mayor.
yeah, the state is requiring us to allocate our COA funds, you know, the funds that are in that housing, COA housing trust. They're saying we have to allocate that by July, whatever date in July.
July
or
17th.
lose the money. So this is a way for us to invest that money in affordable housing for our seniors.
So are they going to build more properties,
Yeah.
more units on the vacant piece of property?
That is correct, yes.
So the township is purchasing that property because
And
if
then
it,
we'll develop that into the senior campus 2 and 3.
and the housing authority will no longer run it, the town
No,
will
they will
run it?
manage it. They will manage it. They will manage those facilities. They won't build it. They won't be the developer.
They won't be the developer, but they're going to get, who's going to get the money to purchase it? There's an allocation money right now, 600 and,
For the COA fund, that is correct. And then there is a mortgage on those 2 properties. There's really two parcels.
600 some thousand? No.
I think it's less than that, it's 400 some odd thousand.
Okay,
dollars.
because didn't they pay 600,000 for that
Well,
existing?
there was
for
three,
the-
keep in mind, there were 3 parcels. The senior campus 1 is already up, 75 units are there at Lakeland. So that was phase 1. This is for phase 2 and phase 3.
Okay, so phase 2 and phase 3. Okay. There was an article in the paper, I believe it was last week, maybe the week before, regarding the privatization of that whole facility, of the Lakeland facility.
Okay.
So,
Linda, that was, I'm sorry, that was for the Health Services Center.
Services.
Okay.
Which is a county facility, it is not our senior center.
so this would remain
Oh, yes.
part of Gloucester
Gloucester
Township,
Yes, absolutely.
of the housing authority, okay. Okay, and, okay, so that was the parcel, I guess, about that. And regarding the bonding for Kiwanis and for the rec center. It had said on here that, I think it was under purpose and improvement, where expansion to the recreational building, oh, that's for the recreational building, is part of the Township Open Space Program. The improvements that are going to be made to Kiwanis, Is any of the funding for that going to be part of open space funding?
Is it possible you can keep that for, there is a second reading? and a public
There's a
portion.
second reading on that and a public portion on that? Okay, all right, so then the only thing there isn't going to be a public portion on is the ESIP proposal. Okay, and I do have a couple questions on that. I should remember to put stickies on these. Too many papers. Can't find it. Oh, I think I left it back by my chair. And I do have some questions. Well, maybe someone else, and then I can reserve the right to come back up, because I think I have left those questions at my chair. I had printed that up also, because I had the questions written on the agenda wasn't posted earlier. I had called Row, and then they posted it, but the special meeting agenda had been posted on there, and I had printed that out, and I had some questions on that, which would relate to this.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Mr. Kibblestis?
Hi, Jim Kibblestis, Ariel. Follow-up on the ordinance 1213, resolution 1205-120, and 1205-121. All deal with the senior campus 2 and 3. Okay, on 121, the grand total is not $733,952.81. It is $734,711.81. Are we going into the landlord business by purchasing this ground?
No,
If we are the owners,
no, that's correct. We'll own the land, but then that land will be developed accordingly under the senior, our affordable housing procedures. So we'll sell that land eventually as well.
to sell the land back to,
No, well, to a developer that wants to come in and do senior housing.
okay, sort of like Revere Run?
Well, that's correct. Similar model.
Okay, the money used to purchase that property, was that taxpayers' money?
No, it's a fund that developers pay into, the COA fund, that each municipality has in the state of New Jersey. The state now is saying you have to allocate that fund, or that all goes away. So instead of us losing $700,000, we're doing it this way. So we've allocated those funds, investing in phase 2 and 3, which is important, which I think is very important for our senior population.
Right now, being as it goes to a developer, are they restricted to only renting those facilities to Gloucester Township residents?
I don't think so.
Now they're not restricted
no,
to,
I don't
they're
think-
residents from other communities that are
Yeah.
living in senior campus.
It's an application process.
Okay. All right, because I just don't want to, when I started reading in here, it says Township is planning the undertaking, construction, operation, and senior affordable housing in Gloucester Township. I kept thinking of lumberyard in Collingswood.
Oh, no.
And I do not feel that we have a very good reputation here right now, the way fiscal responsibilities go, and I don't want to see it going. Also, why is there an amount not less than $600,000? The property is only assessed at $390,000.
Well, in order to we're allocating all of the money, really in the COA fund for this project, which we will recoup plus some when we develop it. So in order to allocate all that, so that we don't get it taken away from us from the state of New Jersey, it will go towards, the approval process, various costs to make this project very feasible.
Very good, thank you.
Is there anyone else? Mrs. Musser?
Thank you. Okay, regarding Resolution 1205-111, the $1.9 million ESIP, which I believe the proposal is going to be presented tonight. I looked online, I didn't see that because I wanted to print that out, and I probably wouldn't have any
You
questions.
said 1205-111. I don't have a 111.
It's R-12:05-111.
No.
This meeting started at 1:12.
Okay, I'm sorry, that was a special meeting, that was the resolution number. Okay, then the questions that I have is regarding the proposal itself. Because it is a lease purchase agreement and it's a shared services contract with the Black Horse Pike Regional, since Black Horse Pike School District is regional and there are other towns that use the school, are they going to be contributing towards this bond, or is it only going to be Gloucester Township that's going to be floating this bond and paying for it?
Linda, if I could answer. This ESIP program was a very unique shared services arrangement between the Black Horse Pike and our municipality. We were approved by the local finance board, I guess, last month. It was the first time in New Jersey that has been approved in this type of shared services arrangement. And we did that so that we would really take advantage of the economy of scale. Under the ESIP program, you have to go through an auditing program, go in and look at all the lights, or look at the boilers, the air conditioning units, all of those things. And instead of them doing their thing and us doing our thing and incurring more costs, we did it as one group. The costs associated with that will be divided according to what those costs are. So if the schools are getting new boilers, they're paying for that out of the bond. So the shared services agreement says that they will repay us that amount for that bond. So we're not subsidizing any other town. We're doing our thing here to maximize our efficiencies in lighting and everything in 7 buildings. And then they're doing their 3 high schools and paying for that.
They're doing, each of the individual high schools are there going to be solar panels on each high school, or just one?
No, this is not solar, that's another program that we're doing. This is just energy efficiency upgrades. So it is, everything from the boilers and air conditioning units that I spoke about to, what do you call those, not dimmer switches, but motion detectors. Every classroom will have a motion detector. So when it's not being used, the lights are going to be on. To save energy. And so very large things to those types of things, but it's not solar.
Okay, but is Belmore and Runnymede, are they contributing, those towns, those municipalities, because they also get to use Triton High School?
That's correct. And so as taxpayers for Black Horse Pike Regional High School, they are contributing. The school district is contributing.
They have a levy. They have a levy on the regional district, and the monies that are going to come back to the municipality for financing the entire ESIP
Will come back to Gloucester Township?
Are going to come back, and they're going to come from the overall Black Horse Pike Regional amount to be raised by taxation, which includes Belmore and Runnymede.
Okay, but how are they going to break down so that...
They don't have to. We're doing the improvements for the school district, and then under the lease arrangement, which was approved by the local finance board, Division of Local Government Services.
Okay.
They will then pay back those lease over the...
And how much are they going to be required to pay back?
We don't know at this point because the project still has to go out for bid. I believe that's part of what we're doing tonight.
That's what the proposal tonight to start that process.
Correct.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Anyone else? Mr. Schmidt?
Good evening, John Schmidt, Gloucester City, New Jersey. Regarding the, I guess it's our 1205-120, in which the Gloucester Township is purchasing property for the GTHA. How is this going to be, is this project going to revert back to the control of the Housing Authority?
From a management perspective, the goal is they would manage, just like they're doing now, with Senior Campus One, they would manage them.
How was Senior Campus 1 constructed?
How
Was that the housing authority went out and got the funding for it?
No. What happened, the Housing Authority did similar to what we're proposing, a process to get a developer to come in and to build them. So the developer applied for the credits as well as, I guess the Housing Authority also applied, there's this joint application that occurred, but because each year, as you're aware, you're on the Housing Authority, I believe, you apply for these tax credits. So it's a competitive process. So you're not guaranteed that you're going to be awarded it. And so you partner with a developer that would help bring, what is necessary to get the development completed.
Okay, so this is being built through the low-income tax credits?
Yep.
The Senior Campus 1, that was the Gloucester Township Housing Authority went out with a developer and developed what is now Senior Campus 1. In this case, it's going to be Gloucester Township developing it?
Yes.
Okay, so how does it revert back to the Housing Authority if Gloucester Township is the one developing it and not the Housing Authority as it was with Senior Campus 1?
No, they will manage it. So we'll sell the land to, in a competitive process, sell the land, and then have the Housing Authority manage it, just like it manages Senior Campus 1 now.
Okay. And will this all eventually, I guess there's a lot of questions regarding the low-income tax credits and the new buildings. Will this all revert back to the developer, the, private company to manage it down the line 30 years from now? Is that?
No.
Or is that permanently staying under the control of the Housing Authority until that building has to come down?
Yeah, I would imagine it's, yeah.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Mr. Kibblestis?
Jim Kibblestis, Ariel. Just a point of clarification. Campus 1, according to the public records on property search, is owned by Gloucester Township Housing Authority. And I believe the mayor just mentioned that the developer owns it?
No, they partnered with the developer to get
Okay, so it's...
To qualify for the tax credits, Jim,
Right.
there's different criteria that, it's a competitive process. And so you have to demonstrate certain abilities to do that. The phase 1 for the Gloucester Township Housing Authority was the first time our housing authority did something like that. So they needed to partner with someone to give them the criteria that they would need to qualify in a competitive nature.
So they're like a silent partner that's
Yeah.
not on record?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Close the first public portion. Proposal. The ESIP proposal is the Energy Savings Improvement Program. It was, colleagues, it was sent to you in an email and an attachment. Ken, would you want to comment on that?
The proposal it's submitted, requested the mayor. This is to proceed with the ESIP program. That's the Energy Savings Improvement Program. As you know, Confluent Engineering had developed these plans and reports that have been approved by the state for improvements to both the Black Horse Pike Regional School District and to several township buildings. Everything from lighting and lighting controls, as the mayor said, to boilers at the 2 schools and one boiler in one of the township buildings. Our concern with this is we have a tight timeline to get the boilers in place in the schools before the heating season kicks up next fall for the schools. So we have to move this along quickly. We are partnering with Concord Engineering. They're subcontracting to us to put the plans and specifications together so we can go out for bids, first for the pre-purchase of the boilers and then for the construction. The fees, or the estimated fees in here are on page 3 of the proposal. It's broken down to projects that will be on the municipal buildings and projects on the 3 high schools. So there's and again, these are estimates, but these are what we believe the fees will be for the engineering and inspections of the project. They're within the numbers that were used when the ESA plan was generated to make sure that the financing works, so it's in conformance with the financing in the ESA plan.
So this was reviewed by local finance board.
We need a straw poll for this.
You do.
Any questions from my colleagues on the council? Madam Clerk?
Mr. Hutchison?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Seiler?
Yes.
Mrs. Stentek?
Yes.
Mrs. Prado?
Yes.
Mr. Mercado?
Yes. Bid report?
Signalization of Redbud Drive, Wilby Road, and Berlin Cross Keys Road.
Minutes? No, I'm sorry. Is there a motion to accept the minutes? Roll call?
Mr. Hutchison?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Seiler?
Yes.
Mrs. Stentek?
Yes.
Mrs. Prado?
Yes.
Mr. Mercado?
Yes. Now the minutes.
Waive the reading and accept the minutes of regular minutes, May 14th, and special minutes, May 21st.
So moved.
Second?
On the question? Roll call?
Mr. Hutchison?
Yes, May 14. I'll abstain on May 21st.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Seiler?
Yes.
Mrs. Stentek?
Yes.
Mrs. Prado?
Yes.
Mr. Mercado?
Yes to the 14th, and I'll stay on the 21st. Now we have our ordinance, second reading, and this will be a public hearing. Bond ordinance 0-12-12, bond ordinance authorizing various improvements to recreational facilities in the Township of Gloucester, County of Camden, New Jersey, appropriating the sum of $920,000. Therefore, authorizing the issuance of general obligation bonds or bond anticipation notes of the Township of Gloucester, County of Camden, New Jersey, in the aggregate principal amount of up to $874,000, making certain determinations and covenants and authorizing certain related actions in connection with the foregoing. There's two parts to this particular project. It's various improvements to the Kiwanis recreational building and complex. In addition to that, recreational building improvements or expansions at the Broad Acres Drive, which is our rec center. We'll open up to a public portion. Mrs. Musser.
Linda Musser, Cameron Circle. Regarding the ordinance, the improvements that are being made to the Kiwanis field, is that field only going to be for the exclusive use of Kiwanis Ball Club?
That particular field, it is funded through our Township's Open Space Recreational Program. Kiwanis is the league that operates it and has use of that facility. But it is open space money would be available to all residents of the township.
They're permitted priority scheduling, but it isn't.
What's that?
They're permitted priority scheduling, but it is open to other.
Okay, but if we're paying for it, we should have the same, we should be able to use it whenever we want. We're paying for it.
Well,
I
I
mean,
think you have
if
to
not,
schedule it. I
then,
don't
if they were paying for it, then yeah, I could see them having priority use. But if you're asking us to pay for it, I think that, if we wanted to use the field for something, I think that the taxpayers should have the right to use that field.
But you said anytime you want it, and it has to be scheduled. The use of the fields have to be scheduled.
And who do you schedule that through?
The Recreation Department through Bill Fagan and Diane Jones.
And if they have the field pretty much tied up for the whole season, then the taxpayers are footing the bill to have all these improvements made. And money was expended a few years ago for these same fields, supposedly for drainage and things like that. And whatever happened to that? I mean, was the job so poor that they have to have it done again? I mean, that was only a few years ago.
We
That
did
wasn't
not
that long
allocate
ago.
money for the building. The building definitely needs to be renovated. There are some code situations.
It needed that before though, Tom, and I thought
We
that,
own the building.
We
It's
didn't
our
make any
responsibility.
renovations to that building, Mrs. Musser.
well, we own the building because we took on that responsibility. But, again, this is that slippery slope. We start taking on all these recreational activities, and while it's great that the kids have recreational activities, you can't expect the burden to be on the taxpayers to keep paying for improvements and all kinds of things like this. I mean, they need to step up to the plate, so to speak, since we're talking baseball here, and or we should be allowed to use that, and it shouldn't only be for their priority use.
Mrs. Musser, over the last 2 years, the Blackwood Kiwanis Little League organization has put over $100,000 of their own money back into a field that they do not own. It's a township-owned field.
But they get to use it. They have priority use of the field.
So did they step up to the plate when they gave over $100,000 in improvements?
Hey, you know, when my son was playing baseball, when he was playing hockey, when he was playing all kinds of sports that he was involved in, as a parent, that was part of our responsibility, to pay the fees and get involved and be part of the community and pay for it. But I mean, you know, it's constantly, you know, it's a new roof for this building. It's you know, we can't live without a concession stand at the hockey rink. You know, like, where does it end? You know, we're being taxed to death, and it's just a matter of, where does it end?
Well, the money for this is going to come directly out of the open space account. The financing will be from the open space account. It'll be very similar to the hockey rinks, but it will have a useful life that will be consistent with the actual useful life. It will be financed, I believe, over a 20-year period. The open space was overwhelmingly approved by a referendum on the ballot. So
I understand that, and that's great. They've been collecting the open space tax. There were a few years where they stopped collecting it because of economic conditions, etc. But if it's coming from the open space fund, is the money from the bond going back to replenish that open space fund, or is the money coming from a bond? Which is it? It says here that it's a bond obligation.
What we're doing is we're issuing debt based on the open space account. So therefore, the principal and interest payments will come from the open space account.
And this principal and interest payments will go, and where will they go? They'll go to the bond.
Pay the financial institution
That's holding the bond, that's financing the bond. Okay, so how is money being replenished into that? I mean, you know, there's going to come a point in time where we're just going to keep on taking from the open space for this, taking from the, you know, you have to allow it to kind of replenish itself too. Or
These are all permissible expenses under the open space referendum that was approved overwhelmingly by the public.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other comments? Close the public portion. Is there a motion? So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, clerk.
Mr. Hutchison?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Abstain?
Mr. Steiler?
Yes.
Mrs. Gintick?
Yes.
Mrs. Strato?
Yes.
Mr. Mercado?
I'll abstain. Hold on. Oh, we need 4. I'll change my vote then to the affirmative. Mr. Orlando, for the benefit of everybody here, I think it would be appropriate if you explained the abstention and the... Not a problem. Last week I abstained from the vote due to my affiliation with the Kiwanis League. I coached Little League. I've coached for 6 years in the Blackman Kiwanis Little League.
Does that make you impartial, or can you still make a vote as a council?
I believe I can make a vote and an impartial vote.
Very good.
We'll go to our ordinance first reading, 0-12-13, ordinance determining necessity to acquire block 12-301, lot 4 in the Township of Gloucester, County of Camden, State of New Jersey, authorizing property officials of the township to acquire same by negotiation or condemnation. This allows us to either negotiate or condemn the parcel block 12-301, lot 4. There's no public portion on this. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
On the question? Roll call, clerk.
Mr. Hutchison?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Styler?
Yes.
Mrs. Gintick?
Yes.
Strato?
Yes.
Mr. Mercado?
Yes. Next, we have our resolutions on the consent agenda. Any colleague on the council that has an issue with any particular resolution, feel free to pull it off. We can accept as is. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
On the question. Roll call.
Mr. Hutchison?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Styler?
Yes.
Mrs. Gintick?
Yes.
Strato?
Yes.
Mercado?
Yes.
120, resolution of the Township Council, the Township of Gloucester, Camden County, New Jersey, authorizing the purchase of Senior Campus 2 and Senior Campus 3, real estate block 12301, lot 4, from the Gloucester Township Housing Authority.
This resolution authorized the purchase of Senior Campus 2 and Senior Campus 3 from the Gloucester Township Housing Authority. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
On the question. Roll call, clerk.
Mr. Hutchison?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Sadler?
Yes.
Mrs. Gintick?
Yes.
Mrs. Strato?
Yes.
Mr. Mercado?
Yes.
121, resolution of the Township Council of the Township of Gloucester, Camden, County of Camden, authorizing expenditure of affordable housing trust fund monies to the Gloucester Township Housing Authority for the development of responsible affordable housing with the Township of Gloucester for Senior Campus 2 and 3.
This resolution authorizes the expenditure of the Affordable Housing Trust Fund. Mr. Mayor, as indicated earlier, the state has indicated to our township, if we don't use it, we lose this particular fund. There's also one correction in the second to the last paragraph, the dollar amount. In the last line, it says to be used for affordable housing that should be changed to $734,711.81. $711.81. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
On the question. Roll call.
Mr. Hutchison?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Sadler?
Yes.
Mrs. Gintick?
Yes.
Mrs. Strato?
Yes.
Mr. Mercado?
Yes, as amended.
122, resolution consenting to Gloucester Township sanitary sewer system connection and service to certain Winslow Township property pursuant to 1983 service agreement with GTMUA.
This resolution provides consent to the GTMUA to provide a service and connection to a Winslow Township property located on the Berlin Cross Keys corridor. They sat with us at our workshop at the beginning of the month. This is something that has happened. Winslow is their sewer system does not flow as well as ours. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
On the question. Roll call.
Mr. Hutchison?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Sadler?
Yes.
Mrs. Gintick?
Yes.
Mrs. Strato?
Yes.
Mr. Mercado?
Yes. Resolution 12:05-123, a resolution appointing members to the Gloucester Township Zoning Board of Adjustment. This resolution appoints Carmen Scarduzio from May 30th, 2012 to 12/31/12, filling the unexpired term of John Fusilaro. Is there a motion? On the question. Roll call.
Mr. Hutchison?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Sadler?
Yes.
Mrs. Gintick?
Yes.
Mrs. Strato?
Yes.
Mr. Mercado?
Yes. Motions.
Mr. Mercado, before you proceed, may I address, and I apologize, I don't know the appropriate way to do this.
Okay.
But the 0-12-12 bond ordinance,
Yes.
I believe we need 2/3 of council. And I'm questioning whether or not we have 2/3 on that vote right now.
That's what I was looking at. I thought it was 4 votes.
I think, I'm not 100% certain, so I would like to err on the side of caution. My reading of it leads me to believe that it may require 2/3
If it's
of council.
2/3, it's 5 votes,
And
obviously.
that's what I'm thinking. And for that reason, I would like to revisit this and inquire of Councilman Schmidt as to whether or not it's possible that his abstention was simply erring on the side of caution, and if he truly does have a problem, a conflict with voting on that resolution. That would be the bond ordinance authorizing the improvements to Kiwanis, the recreation facility. May I address Mr. Schmidt? Mr. Schmidt, you abstained on the vote to 0-12-12. That was the improvements to the Kiwanis facility and the recreational facility. Do you have a problem changing your vote from abstention to a yes or a no vote?
Well, my son plays ball there and I coach him, so it's not a conflict.
And that's why I was inquiring. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I think that I don't perceive that to be a conflict. But that's the judgment you have to make. I think that we can't proceed on that without a vote from you, either yes or no?
Yeah, it's 2/3.
I'm not going to play solicitor today, but I think we want to go back to that ordinance.
I request that we revisit that ordinance, that we move to vacate our prior vote, and I hope that I'm right, move to vacate the prior vote and vote again.
I think we need a motion for.
So we need a motion to
rescind it.
motion to rescind it. I made a motion to move forward.
I make a motion to rescind. Sorry. Yes, I make a motion to rescind the vote on ordinance 12-12.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, there's a motion and a second on the floor. Roll call.
Mr. Hutchison?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Seiler?
Yes.
Mrs. Stentek?
Yes.
Mrs. Trotter? Yes. Mr. Mercado?
Yes to rescind 0-1212. Is there a motion to approve 0-1212?
Yes, I move.
On the question. Roll call.
Mr. Hutchison?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Seiler?
Yes.
Mrs. Stentek?
Yes.
Mrs. Trotter? Yes. Mr. Mercado?
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Hutchison. Motions.
RA 1319, GTGAA, August 16th. RA 1320, HSA of Our Lady of Hope, September 2012 through May of 2013.
Motion.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Question. Roll call.
Mr. Hutchison?
Yes.
Mrs. Schmidt? Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Seiler?
Yes.
Mrs. Stentek?
Yes.
Mrs. Trotter? Yes. Mr. Mercado?
Yes. Mayor's report.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President and members of council. Good evening. Wanted to bring you up to date on a couple of activities that's right around the corner here in Gloucester Township. Before I do that, I want to thank our Veterans Advisory Committee for hosting the Memorial Day service at Veterans Park this past Monday. Thank them for their efforts. As you know, we start out at 8 o'clock in the morning, visit 7 of our monuments, pay tribute to the men and women who, from Gloucester Township, gave the ultimate sacrifice. So I thank them for their efforts in putting that ceremony together. As you know, we have Gloucester Township Day this coming Saturday, so a fun-filled family day. Encourage all of our residents and all of you to join us this Saturday, June the 2nd. We also, right after that, the following weekend, we have the Relay for Life, which is Saturday, June 9th, also at the Colonel Seiler Veterans Park. So 2 very, very exciting activities in our community that brings our community together to celebrate the traditions that we have here, as well as the fact that we give so much back to others with the relay. So we're looking forward to that. Moving forward with the traffic light at Redbud in the Woods Edge development, that has been an issue for a couple of years now, and we have now really come to almost the completion of that, and hopefully this summer we'll have a traffic light at Redbud and Cross Keys Road. ESIP program, as we discussed, is moving forward, and again, thank council for your support with that, as we will be saving money on our utilities yet again. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. We did not receive any eGov access emails, so we'll open up the second public portion. Is there anyone? Mr. Polidoro.
Good evening, Council. Ray Polidoro, Ariel. Just in reference to the ordinance that you revisited and recounted vote, is there a time, is this vote rely on the amount of time that funding is going to be lost? Deadline? Is there any reason why this council did not decide to table it and research and find out whether you were properly following protocol and what you were doing? Because in essence, what you were doing is uncertainty. Without the solicitor here, It looks like you moved forward like you had no choice. You wanted to rescind a vote, and in essence what you were doing is asking to take back an abstention. And it wasn't a matter of yes or no, it was a matter of we needed a yes. It wasn't, no was not an option. It either was going to pass with yeses or with the abstentions would not have passed. Isn't it something you would have rather tabled than proceed without certainty as to what your vote and what happened here tonight?
Frank, it may seem as though I was pushing to have it approved, and that really wasn't my intention. I sensed that their abstention was as a result of their involvement through coaching or having a child in the organization. I, quite frankly, don't feel that that is a conflict. I inquired of both of them with the expectation that that was what was occurring. I don't remember how I phrased it to Vice President Mercado, but I asked Councilman Schmidt a yes or no. If it was a no, then in my opinion, we couldn't proceed. But I would have been okay with a no, because then, the next time we would have addressed it with Glenn or, when he was here. My concern, though, with this thing is if we have problems with the facility, I would hate to see that those problems be exacerbated by our failure to act. That's why I asked those questions tonight.
In essence, and I'm not going to really challenge you on this, but in essence what you did is it wasn't yes or no. An abstention was just as worthy as a no vote. You needed a yes, and when you asked that, and the reason I asked was time of the essence. This should have been tabled. I mean, listen, I try to be as polite and respectful as I can, but it really looked like a circus for a little bit here when it went on. And without the solicitor here to advise, I'm just thinking maybe it'd be a good idea if time is not of the essence that you table this. You're talking about a great deal of money, and if you move forward, and as you well know, with various challenges, petitions and things, if the I's are not dotted and the T's are not crossed, it's going to be trouble. And when we're talking about such a great amount of money, do you think council might want to reconsider tabling this rather than passing this, not knowing whether you followed protocol and procedure properly?
Mr. Polidor, I'm the ringleader of this perceived circus this evening, and I'm comfortable with changing my abstention vote to an affirmative.
You're comfortable with that?
I'm comfortable with that, and if we have to come back, we'll come back again.
And I would point out to you that it was discussed in workshop, and everybody, there was a consensus to move with this ordinance, with these numbers present at the workshop. Nothing has changed on this bond ordinance.
Okay.
Anything else?
Unless you introduced it already.
Yeah. Well, again, if you're comfortable with that, duly noted, because one of the things is, and I surely like to see improvements done to ball fields. Not only did I coach for a great many years with Blackwood Babe Ruth and a few years for Gloucester Township, but I'm still coaching with one of the greatest coaches Gloucester Township has ever seen, Mr. DeJosie. He was always looking out for the kids, looking out for the fields, and the interest was there. And everything that we got done at Lakeland back then was taken care of and was needed, so I surely understand that. But if you're comfortable with your vote. Now, I don't remember whether I heard a response, and it wasn't very loud and clear in the back. Was Mr. Schmidt also asked to revisit his abstention? Did I understand that correctly?
Mr. Schmidt, were you asked to revisit your abstention? Yes.
I didn't remember hearing an answer, and I didn't have time to play it back. Could I please hear that answer?
Mr. Schmidt would like to answer.
Yes. Yes, you revisited your abstention. And did you change your vote? Okay, thank you. And the last order of business is minor, but a couple meetings ago when we went over some resolutions and ordinances that were involving lot and block, I asked Council President Bianchini if instead of putting that in the initial resolution, if we could be more definitive. Not everyone knows how to go onto the particular sites and find what that property is, a known address. And I think we kind of agreed that we would do that in most circumstances unless there was legal issues or something that would cause a great deal of concern for the township or privacy issues. The first one out of the block, pardon the pun, we did not do that. Is that something we can see to in the future, Stan?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Kibblestis.
Jim Kibblestis, Ariel. Tonight's my night. This is a very minor one. I was hoping that Mr. Moffett was here to give me some direction. But we've had a number of road constructions and a dam built, and the projects are completed. Basically, Sicklerville Road from Route 42 to Jarvis Road, and the dam on Peter Cheeseman by the college. And the road construction signs are still there. The old saying, you know, take care of the pennies, the dollars will take care of yourself. The signs are not cheap. And I was wondering how you go about collecting them and reusing them.
They were county projects.
Yeah.
Okay, does
I'll
anybody,
reach out to the county engineer and tell her that a concern was brought up that the construction signs are still there, but they're strictly county projects. We haven't stopped them off.
good. I'm glad it's county and not township.
Do you know when those projects ended?
Last year on Sicklerville Road, I would say around December, Mr. Cantwell, maybe November.
Probably, yeah, it was
And
2011 with Sicklerville. The dam, I think, is fairly recent.
About two and a half months ago it finished. But yeah, they're just sitting there and, you know, reuse them, recycle. Thank you.
I will.
Anyone else? Mr. Stuff, the fellow in the yellow, sorry.
Hello, Frank Weinstein, Ariel. I have a quick question here. A lot of money seems to have gotten allocated this evening. Pretty simple question. Is anything we've done this evening going to increase property taxes?
Referring to the ordinance that was passed, the ordinance is going to...
Whatever you pass tonight, is it going to increase the property taxes? And if so, how much do you anticipate the increase would be?
Well, the referendum allows for us to raise 2 cents on a $100 assessed value for up to each year. So we have, in fact, gone to the 2 cents, I believe, last year and, in fact, this year. So that, again, was approved by a referendum. So if you're talking about property taxes, yes, the open space is a property tax.
All right, so the property taxes are going to increase yet again. And I wish I could be here.
If I can address that.
Okay.
Over the last 3 years, we have held the municipal tax rate steady. So there has not been a tax increase in Gloucester Township in 3 years.
Okay.
And so we're not raising taxes again, as you put it. We still held the tax rate to that rate.
So really, there has not been a municipal tax increase, and nothing done here this evening is going to increase the municipal tax.
Not to our knowledge, no.
Okay.
I mean, now the budget is done every year. We're in our cycle now.
Okay.
So I'll prepare a budget and present to council early next year.
At the 2 cents, it'll be a zero increase because that's what we raised last year, 2 cents. We raised 2 cents last year on the open space tax. If we raise another 2 cents next year, there's no increase. It's the same.
Okay. Because I'll tell you, I wish I could be here at each and every one of these meetings, and I would like to ask that same question each and every time to keep it paramount in each one of your minds that there's a problem in Gloucester Township that your taxes for property have gotten so high that they're directly impacting people's property value. Because when a buyer comes into Gloucester Township, he looks at his monthly payment, and now his monthly payment has gotten to be so high because of property taxes that the price of the house has to come down for the monthly payment to make sense to a buyer. So I'm here tonight, and I got the opportunity to remind you that if property taxes continue to increase, you're going to directly hurt people's property value in the township. And I know that's not what you folks want to do, but unless someone comes up and reminds a council like yourselves of this problem, it could easily get lost because we want to do so much good. But there is a tipping point, and I'm telling you, you've hit the tipping point in Gloucester Township, and you're going to destroy property value. And I'll tell you what, for a lot of people, that is their biggest and only asset. And if you destroy the property values, it has an impact on people's lives. So that, just wanted to make that comment. And then I wanted to just ask something else. Is there a solar project as part of the ESIP program? There is.
No, sir, there's not. ESIP is only for, it's an energy savings improvement program.
Okay.
And so in essence, it's only for the things that we described today. Those types of energy efficiency upgrades in buildings
Okay.
that would help reduce your utility cost. We already have solar panels on the municipal hall, and we are now
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
I'm sorry, we already have solar panels on the roof of the municipal hall.
Right.
They have already been installed. We are working on an Owens Corning fiberglass site right now to install a solar field there. We are working to put solar panels on the GEMS landfill, and also a shared services agreement with the local and the regional school district for solar panels.
Okay, now, I don't know how far you are along with that solar project. Have we made commitments to do this at this point, or are we just putting this out for bid, or are we exploring this?
The Owens property that I mentioned is already out for bid, and we're working with the developer on that. They are now hooking up, in essence, getting permission to hook up to the grid to start this process. They will sell the energy to Choose School, which is right on Somerdale Road.
So it's going to be a power purchase agreement is what we're going to enter into?
It's a PPA there. The GEMS landfill would be similar. We're not at that point. We're still really in the preliminary stages of GEMS landfill.
But is Gloucester Township citizens going to fund this, or is this going to be privately funded? And then the power purchase agreement will be?
PPA, correct.
Okay. Now, are we as a township going to see the details of this power purchase agreement before we enter into this?
Sure. I mean, you can inquire about any of the proposals that have been approved, will be approved. It's all public record. It's in our energy master plan, a variety of different publications that you're welcome certainly to review.
But there will be some sort of public hearing about the power purchase agreement, how much it's going to be a kilowatt hour, how much they're currently paying it, what kind of savings, why we're doing this, it'll all be explained to
Yeah,
us.
when there's a contract that we enter into, we approve that. It's not a public hearing.
Okay.
It's not a hearing specific to that, but it's on the public agenda, and you're welcome to comment and read and review that.
Okay, because that would just take me right back to what I first started with. Anything we enter into that brings up property taxes has got to be very carefully looked at, because when you get close to the tipping point, you can destroy a township. You can literally make it to the point where nobody wants to sign up to buy a house because they don't want to carry the load that's been put on the current homeowners. And it's happening in many townships. It's happening all over the state. That's why you have people exiting the state. They can no longer afford to live here. So again, please be very careful with the public's money. And if we've kept the municipal budget under control, let's continue to do that. And it's, I just want to remind everybody of that. And thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else? Mr. Carr?
Joanne Carr, Timber Birch. I had a question about the housing authority, the three items that were connected with the housing authority.
Yes.
Is there any reason why that needed to be done quickly?
Well, as the mayor had indicated earlier, the state of New Jersey contacted us. We sit on a pot of money called the Affordable Housing Fund, which developers pay into. It's use it or lose it, that particular pot of money. And Mayor, correct me if I'm wrong, it's by the end of June?
July now.
July
Oh,
7th.
okay.
So I don't know about you, but I wouldn't want to lose $600,000.
I agree. I was just concerned because I thought the first reading, when I read the explanation, it said that it would begin immediately, effectively. And then also with 1205-120, that had the same comment at the end of it, that it would take effect immediately. And I thought
Negotiations or condemnation is indicated in the resolution.
that one had that written at the end of it. And as well as the one,
With the ordinance, there has to be a second reading. the ordinance for 0-1213.
There will be a second reading for that. Okay, so I'm just jumping at something that said will take effect immediately. Okay, so it's not taking effect tonight. It will be after the second reading.
Yes, we have to move quickly. Again, I don't want to lose $600,000.
I appreciate that. I do appreciate that. Okay, change subject. I've come up before saying how I'm personally against a lot of the bonds that we put out. The one that we put out tonight is 20 years long, right? I got a little confused with Mr. Cardis was saying that the monies that we'll be getting from open space will go to pay for the principal and interest. Okay. When we put bonds out, somebody's buying them. Who gets that money?
We do. We do. We sell the bonds and we get the money to do the project.
Okay, well then, why are we needing to take money from open space to pay for the principal and interest?
Because you have to pay your debt service off. If you're going to finance it over a 20-year period, that's going to require annually a principal payment, and I believe biannually you're going to have to make an interest payment. So those monies will come out of that dedicated fund, that open space fund, and that's permissible under New Jersey statute. The same as the hockey rinks, except that we committed to an accelerated payoff of the hockey rinks. We'll make a payment this year, I believe, of around $400,000 on the principal on the hockey rinks.
I apologize for being dense, but I'm not getting it.
Okay.
We're putting out bonds, the money for which will come to pay
Those various projects and improvements.
for the, okay.
We have to pay those bonds back.
Look at it this way, there's a closing on the bond, and after the closing on the bond, we will receive a wire transfer of $900 and some thousand. That money will be transferred into whatever account the CFO deems it needs to be transferred in. I believe in this case it will go into the open space fund. Then what happens is, since you're financing over a period of time, just like your mortgage, you'll make payments on that. So in this case, you're going to make principal payments annually, and biannually you'll make interest payments. Those payments will be made out of the open space fund. Now, when you do general capital, if we do roads and drainage, that money gets configured into the operating budget, the current budget, and that's part of our debt service schedule in the back of the budget.
Okay. What happens if we don't get enough people to purchase our bonds?
Never happened. I don't know that that's happened to anybody out there. Our credit rating, by the way, has gone up.
Our credit rating has gone up, but times today are really tough. Warren Buffett is telling everybody not to purchase anything beyond a short-term bond. Medium and long-term bonds, he's saying, don't do. Well, 20 years is a long-term bond to me. And if enough people start listening to him, we might get stuck.
I'll let you know if that happens. I don't anticipate it.
Okay. All right. As long as we have monies coming in from outside sources, red light cameras and whatever, as long as it's a pilot program, I still think if we can do it, we should pay for things outright without bonding. So, thank you.
Thank you. Good evening. Mr. Schmidt?
Good evening. Again, John Schmidt, Gloucester City, New Jersey. I had only one issue I wanted to really discuss tonight, but having another one going back to the vote for the ball fields and the bond. I had attended, it was 3 months ago, the Runnymede Board of Education meeting. They have a board member, Maria Panzarella. Nice lady, I've gotten to know her and all that. But in front of the board, they were discussing waiving certain fees for various groups in town. One of them being the RYAA, the Runnymede Youth Athletic Association. in which she was a coach at one point. Her kids are involved. She helps out on the board. And she had voted to waive the fee. Said, you know what, they're taxpayers. All these these are in-town organizations. It's taxpayer. All members are residents of Runnymede. Taxpayers here. They pay for the school. They shouldn't have to bill twice for the use of the gym or the fields. And she voted yes, and the vote it did pass. I don't believe she was the deciding vote. I think it was a 5-3 vote with one member being absent. In the week following, the solicitor who was not present at that meeting, Phil Stern, out of I think his offices in Newark, he contacted the board and said they had to redo it, that because Ms. Panzarella was involved with this association, legally she had to abstain. Now, she does not receive any compensation for her volunteer time with the athletic association, but the lawyer said that she had to abstain. With watching that develop in Runnymede and hearing about yourself, Mr. Mercado, and Mr. Schmidt being coaches, being involved with the Kiwanis, how is it different here than it is for an elected school board member as compared to an elected council member?
I am not a board member of the Blackwood Kiwanis Little League. My son plays in the league, and I coach in the league.
You're involved with the league.
I'm part of the board. I'm part of the organization. I coach in the organization, and my son is part of the organization. I'm okay with changing my vote from an abstention to a yes. Is there any other questions you have?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Hearing that, I think that you should ask your solicitor.
I will. Thank
Hold
you.
off and wait. Or that I see Mr. Bianchini's now here, is to, you have 5 members that would vote yes with the 2 abstentions, and it would move through.
No, we don't.
Someone else missing.
Still short on one. And it does require 5 votes. I just confirmed it. You're correct. It states right in the first paragraph. It says not less than 2/3 of all members.
I appreciate what you're saying. I do.
I just wanted to ask the question, because
John,
I saw what happened in
John-
Runnymede, and I'm not trying to say anything was done wrong, I'm just watching what happened in Runnymede.
We'll
That's
speak
all.
to our solicitor, John. If there's an issue, we'll come back and bring it back again.
Thank you. The next issue, I want to go back, and I addressed it last month, and it's unfortunate that Mr. Carlemere is not here, or I'm not addressing directly Mr. Bianchini at this time. But all of you were present, as I recall, and which I questioned a zoning board member, Frank Cimarella, I believe that's how you pronounce the last name, who's also in the MUA. About 2 months ago, I questioned a number of officers in Pennsauken Township, County of Camden, State of New Jersey. Subsequently, last week, I received an email from someone who forwarded to me. The mayor had requested they have it with a list of vacant board positions. And there's now 3 vacancies on the Housing Authority in Pennsauken. There had been existing 1, and there's now 2 more. One being a zoning board member by Mr. Martz is his name, last name M-A-R-T-Z, who was also on the zoning board. As you all know, the line that I read from the zoning board, you can't hold any other municipal office under the municipality. And he's no longer, from what I gathered today, I spoke to the Housing Authority, there are 3 vacancies. I'm waiting for the 100% confirmation, but 99% sure from speaking to Pennsauken and the Housing Authority there, is that he's no longer a member of the Housing Authority. Why it was probably because of my letter, in that he can't be on the zoning board at any municipal authority. So I will pose the question again to this council here in this township, is that you have a zoning board member who is a member of a municipal authority who is serving. Pennsauken doesn't. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening. Mr. Kipsis.
Last time, promise. Just a clarification, if I could. Tonight we heard that the open space funding comes from a 2-cent referendum that was passed by the voters. I know that council has had the authority to reduce that amount from 2 cents to 1 cent to 0 cents. Does council have the authority to increase it, or does it have to go back to a referendum?
I believe it was up to 2 cents, and to increase that, we have to go back to a referendum.
Okay, very good, thank you.
Mrs. Gilch.
question. Linda Gilch, Glendora. I just was curious of how the recycling's going in Gloucester Township. Are a lot of the residents using it, and are we able to tell if they're using the recycling buckets?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
So, yeah, absolutely. We have increased our recycling almost, well, really slightly over 40% already. We have reduced the tonnage that we put into our trash because we pay per ton. And so we are paying less for our trash disposal because it's weighing less, because more people are putting, stuff that they were putting in the trash in our recyclable canisters. And it's really working out to be not only a good program for, from an environmental perspective, but from a financial perspective for the town. It's estimated we'll save at least $150,000 this year on our trash disposal fees. And we'll make revenue on the recyclable material as well. So it's working out very, very well.
Good, good. And I also just wanted to give kudos to Public Works, because I've called them several times, and they've come right out, and they've done a good job. So I just wanted to give kudos to them in public.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Bucciaroni?
Good evening, Council. Kevin Bucciaroni, Blackwood, New Jersey. June is going to be a very, very, very busy month for you guys. And hopefully I'd like to tie you up for one more weekend. On June 23rd, we are having the first Welcome Home Parade to welcome home our troops with the closing of the Iraqi War. We are going to celebrate, the celebration actually starts on 8th Avenue in Glendora at the War Memorial. It ends at 8th Avenue in Runnymede. It starts at 9 o'clock in the morning and will end at 12. Would really appreciate if we could get all of your support and all of your support. We'd like to really show our troops how much we care for them. Bring a flag and make a homemade sign. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Glad?
Darren Gladden, 44 Greens Way. Just one little minor problem. Like, we had the old Blackwood Clementon Road right next door to McDonald's. You had the property there. What was that building? Checkers. The grass is pretty high, and there's a lot of abandoned houses in the neighborhoods and stuff like that. Is there a program that we have to get these grass cut at these facilities, or is there something that we can do?
I mean, code enforcement, Darren. If there's a particular property that, let's say, is in foreclosure, that is bank owned, they would contact the bank. But if for some reason that they cannot reach the bank, correct me if I'm wrong, Chief, they would send out Public Works, possibly cut that parcel of land and then build that particular homeowner or bank.
Yeah, that's correct. And we have a cut and lien program here that we established about 2 years ago. So for properties like that, we have to go through the judicial process, if you will, of noticing that landowner. So code enforcement goes out, cites the landowner, gives a warning. If it's not done, then we go through the judicial process and then go through the cut and lien process. So we'll go out, cut it, and lien that property. The particular property you're talking about also was having an application before the planning board for a Pep Boys there as well. So we're hoping that corner will be developed to a nice place.
Yeah, I'm just saying because it's becoming a safety hazard. We're concerned with the safety. That's why we put the red light cameras at that intersection. So I was just wondering, like, the grass is getting pretty high there. Just, just being a concerned citizen. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Good evening. Mr. Williams?
Jim Williams, 3 Tiffany Place. I was trying to be nice and quiet until the last remark. But a Pep Boys, isn't there one on Blackwood Clementon Road already?
No.
No, I thought there was
There's a
one.
Firestone. There's a Goodyear still.
I thought there was a Pep Boys down the street by the Firestone, just beside the Firestone. I could be wrong. But, this could be like, some of the problems we have in the past. Drugstore, 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 drugstore. And the next thing you know, they're closing all over the place. They can't stay in business, and there's other businesses that just I mean, everywhere, well, the Wawas, I mean, they pay for themselves. But like I said, you know, I mean, whenever they apply for an application, how does that work? How does that go through? Does that go through someone here or the council or what?
It goes through whether it's a zoning or a planning matter,
Mm-hmm.
depending on the variances or what have you. So it goes through a community development program. We can't really dictate whether it's in Pep Boys or in Goodyear business, but there isn't any other Pep Boys along Blackwood Clemson Road. And hopefully we'll be taking that eyesore, if you will, that's there on the corner now, and actually bringing in a commercial property that's a rateable property.
Yeah, oh, it is a nice source, no doubt about it. But also,
That particular project's in front of the planning board now. It is a service and tire application. It's not going to be a retail application.
okay. Okay, great, that's good. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else? Mr. Schmidt?
I know it was mentioned maybe a while ago. Is there a way, and I know the acoustics in this room isn't always the best, that you could put a microphone over here? There's some times that I can hear the mayor, there's other times where it's a little harder to hear. Is there a way you can put a microphone over there, or have one of the portable ones that they could use over there? You know, you all have them. We can hear you when you're talking to the microphones. It's sometimes hard to hear when the mayor's directly communicating like this. Is there a way you could get another microphone for over there?
Normally the table ones pick up any conversation down there, but we could possibly ask Councilman Schmidt to lean his microphone over because they're pretty sensitive and they could pick up that area in that corner.
I'll talk louder.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Seeing none, we'll close the public portion. Polling of directors.
Mr. Lechner.
Nothing to report.
Chief Earl.
Nothing to report, thank you.
Mr. Cardis.
Nothing.
Mr. Hutchison.
Briefly, I attended the Memorial Day services. They were very moving. I'm reading the book Flag of Our Fathers right now, and it really put things into perspective. We have people in town such as Richie Calabrese, who lost family members who were, in planes that went down during World War II. We have a young, I'm going to butcher the guy's name, but Galbraith, he was on the first wave of Iwo Jima, and he died. It's so impressive to see the collection of people we have in this town and have had in this town. So just wanted to bring that out. With regard to the ESIP program, Mayor, good job. Kudos to the rest of my council members. We are on the cutting edge of various things in this town. It makes me feel good. It also humbles me. I would never have thought of the ESIP program. I can't imagine walking in your moccasins, Mayor. But that coupled with resolution 1205, 120, and 121, partnering basically with the Housing Authority, that's great stuff. That is great stuff. I'm confident that there are not very many towns in the state of New Jersey that are doing what we're doing governmentally. So I'm proud to be a councilman right now. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for coming and staying.
Mr. Schmidt.
Thank you for coming this evening. Thank you for your patience, and I hope we get a ruling on this. Thank you.
Mr. Savick.
Yes, I would like to congratulate Triton and Highland High School on their accomplishments. Also, I would like to thank Gloucester Township, Elmore, and Runnymede for agreeing to support our Welcome Home Parade for the veterans. This should be a very moving event, and it should bring out a lot of people. And we have a committee. They have been working very hard to plan this over a 2-month period, which is a short period of time to plan a large operation like this. The Black Horse Pike will be closed down for about 3 hours during this operation. And we hope the community will provide their full support on this project. Thank you.
Mrs. Gento?
I'd like to thank everyone for coming out. I'd also like to thank everyone for coming to our Sustainable Gloucester Township meeting last night. We had a lot of new faces. We had a lot of people join, which is wonderful. So I thank you again for coming. I'd also like to say to Mr. Weinstein, thank you for coming out, but I want you to know I'm a single mom with 3 kids. I remember every single day about my taxes, and I'm sure everyone who owns a home up here does also. So know that we are, every decision we do, look at that. And I am also proud to be a part of this council right now that we were able to have a 0% increase for 3 times in a row. I'd also, for Memorial Day is such a wonderful day to remember our veterans and remember the men and women who are still serving. But let's just make sure that we remember not just that one day, that we remember every day, because to live in the land of the free, we must thank the brave. Thank you for coming out.
Mrs. Trotter?
Thank you for everyone coming out this evening, and congratulations to Highland and Triton on their awards. And I think, Michelle, you said it great about the armed forces, so thank you. Thank you. Have a good week.
Mr. Mercado?
Thank you for coming out this evening. Congratulations to Triton and Highland, their percussion and marching band. They're talented individuals that participate in those organizations, and I think we should all be proud of them. Also, this past Monday in Memorial Day service, we celebrated our servicemen and women and thought of them, and I think that it is fitting that we welcome home our veterans. So, Lieutenant Colonel Seiler and Mr. Bucciaroni, thank you very much for your leadership on this. I've been asking, when are you going to let people know? Let's get the cat out of the bag, so to speak. So thank you for your leadership on that. And with that, I bid you a good evening. Is there a motion to adjourn? Roll call. Well, Cheryl, workshop agenda.
But if everything else worked out great. Yeah, thank you. Sure.